Hello there. In this video I'm going to give you a few pointers as to the way that I play the tune Cajun Jive. Basically the tune is very simple, but there are lots of drone notes added to the tune to fill the sound out, and there's also some unison notes as well added in there, so it gives it an extra dimension in a way. So I think in this video I'll play the tune entirely through as I would normally play it, and then I'll break it down into a very simple basic melody so you can play along, and which might be useful if you're learning to play the tune by ear. And then finally I'll just discuss each of the items or each of the things that I do to embellish the tune slightly, like the drone strings and the unison notes and that sort of thing. So I'll go through it all in turn. So first of all I'll perform the tune as I would normally play it. 3, 4. And so on. That's the melody played through completely. You may also notice there's quite a sort of swing to this tune. That's quite useful if you can develop that, if you can develop the bowing so that you can add a little bit of rhythm into the tune as well. Quite useful. But don't worry if you can't, just, you know, it comes slowly, that sort of thing. Anyway, now, the melody itself. This is the basic tune, starting on the A string. So I played the A tune twice there, and now I'll go into the B tune. Repeats. With this particular tune you add a lot of drone strings, but I'm going to forego that for the moment and just play the melody a little bit quicker with a little bit more rhythm, so you can kind of get the hang of the way that I'm bowing and playing the tuning and imparting the rhythm. Okay, so I'll go from the 3/4 again. 3/4. So you can see from that, it's quite rhythmical, the bowing. So the next thing is the open drone strings. Now with this particular tune, there's virtually not one note that doesn't have an accompanying drone string. So from the top I would play the open E, and then I would play the open A, see, so I'm playing the open E there at first, and then when I drop onto the D string with the melody, I'm playing the A as a drone. And the other thing I do, I slide up. So I take my middle finger, which is holding down the second note on the D string, and then I slide up to the third note on the D string, or I should say the fourth note onto the D string. So I'm playing two A's simultaneously. Okay, that's called a unison note, and it adds a little bit more power to the end of that sort of beat in the rhythm. So I'll play it again. 3/4. And I also do the same thing on the A string. Now instead of just playing that, I shuffle my middle finger again up to the open E, or I should say to the E note on the A string, which is like the fourth note. I'll demonstrate it. It's quite subtle. If you play that quite quickly, you hardly hear it, but your ear picks it up, and it emphasises that extra sort of rhythm into the tune. So I'll play that part again. And there was an extra one there at the end. Now, if you find that rather difficult to do, and it took me quite a few years to figure out playing unison notes, it doesn't come straight away. It takes quite a lot of practice and quite a few bum notes as well. But so if that does happen and you want to sort of eliminate that, what you can do is just play the open drone. There's no unison notes here. sounds okay. So, you know, it's not the end of the world. It's not a problem. The other things that are important and that are quite easy to do are the slides. There's even one right at the very beginning. There's one there. Another one. Slides are pretty straightforward to master. They shouldn't be too tricky. Keep practicing those because they really do make the tune sound completely different from just sort of playing it mechanically. And if you really sort of feel like being a bit fancy, you can put a unison note in and be a bit flashy. Bring the bow off, sort of make sure everybody can see, you know, look, I can do this, and then drop. It's a bit similar to the drummer in the band, throwing the drumsticks up in the air. It's just been a bit of a showman. It's quite good fun as well. The B part of the tune goes like this. So I'm using one finger to hold down two notes. In other words, I'm forming a bar across the G string and the D string on the first note. And my bow tension is not too taut. As you may know, I tend to tension the bow with my thumb, which I believe is all incorrect, but it works for me, so I'm quite happy. And I then play two notes simultaneously. Now you may find that quite a stretch. Hitting that third note on the G string. I used to find that quite difficult. I'm quite lucky, my hand is quite large so I can reach, but sometimes it can be difficult to hit these extra notes when you're holding down a bar right at the bottom end of the fingerboard. How can you sort that? Well, it's only practice. You've got to more or less start by putting one finger across the first note on both the G and the D, and then work your way up whilst holding your first finger in the same position. It's not easy. It takes a lot of practice and quite a few hours, but you do get there in the end, so it's worth keeping at it. So let's crack on. The tune is basically this. So what I play is this. I hold the bar down and I hit two notes, of course. Okay, so I don't want to leave anybody behind, so if you're finding it too difficult to do a bar across the two notes like that, you could just play this. you could actually drone the A string. That's the first part. And then you just play the ordinary note on the G string. And then go back to the D string and drone the A. So I don't think it would notice a great deal. So don't let it put you off from playing this tune. By all means, there are always workarounds in any fiddle tune. So do what comes easiest for you. Keep practicing, and eventually these other things do occur quite naturally. They may take a few years, maybe, but it does happen eventually. So that's the way that I play this tune. I put lots of drone notes in. I tend to play everything as a double note. Really, I'm just soaring away on this tune. That's basically it. But the rhythm is important. So what am I actually doing now? Let's have a look. Okay, I figured it out. I'm going down with a long bow, and then up with a short one and down with a short one. And then I go up with a long bow, down with a short one, up with a short one, and down with a long one. So it's long, short, short, long, short, short, and it sort of alternates. B. Well, that's the tune Cajun Jive anyway. I hope you find this video of help, gives you a few pointers, certainly as to the way that I play this tune, but I'm sure there are other ways to play it as well. Of course, I've provided all of the notation to the tune, so and the tab as well for those people that aren't familiar with reading notation. The tab is there as well, so you can work out the finger positions on the fingerboard exactly and see roughly where you should be going. I'm hoping I can make a backing track for this one. I'll need to check out the sequencer file I recorded, because I record all the instruments myself. So we'll see if the backing track is suitable, and if it is, I'll upload that as well. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. See you again soon. Bye bye now.